Hey up you lot. So in a recent video talking about my 5 most favourite albums that people seem to dislike for one reason or another, I talked about this one. It's if you haven't seen that video, it's School Days by Alice Cooper, and it's a double LP reissue of the first 2 Alice Cooper albums, Pretty's For You and Easy Action. And it got me thinking about something. But before I tell you what I was thinking about, let's have a little look what Victor's been up to this morning. Now, what set me off thinking about doubles is I got this one recently. It's a compilation, Pink Floyd compilation, called A Nice Pair, and it's literally just a reissue of Sauce Full of Secrets and Piper at the Gates of Dawn on the really nice Harvest labels. Obviously it's redesigned sleeve art, but these are the inners. I think they look really cool. And yeah, it's new sleeve art. I quite like it. I think it was cheap because it's got some damage to it, because somebody has scribbled out what could possibly be unclothed young ladies, and it's kind of the same on the inside, you know, in the gatefold. And obviously, it was a lot cheaper than getting a copy of the albums individually. Now, so why am I talking about these albums? Well, I think that they're a brilliant way to bolster your record collection if there's a few things that you want that are creeping up in price or have already crept up in price. Now, I get it. These aren't going to be first pressings. These are reissues from they were kind of popular in the 70s and into the 80s. And as much as I would love a first pressing of Piper at the Gates of Dawn, I'd just like the LP. I think first pressings are sought after for 2 reasons. One is like collectability, bragging rights, kind of like, it's like getting a first edition of a book. You can pay an astronomical sum for a first edition of a book, but you can buy a paperback for $5.99 off Amazon, and that is still the same book. It's just not as nice in your collection. And I know a lot of people say that the sound quality of first pressings is vastly better. I get that, and I would never dispute that. But as I've said before, my audio setup is a few hundred rather than a few thousand. And I honestly don't think I would notice a huge difference in sound quality from a first pressing to a second, third, fourth pressing. Again, I always say, I don't want to get into like vinyl arguments with people, but I just don't notice it on my setup, and I'd rather have the record than not have the record and be saving up hundreds and hundreds for a first pressing in decent nick. So that stands me in good stead. I can spin those albums and I'm quite happy. And it was a bit of a thing. So sometimes you would get like completely redesigned sleeves, like the Pink Floyd and the Alice Cooper. Sometimes they do them as just a straightforward kind of reprint. So this is Shine On Brightly by Procol Harum, and on the other side, on the other LP, it's Home. And essentially what they've done is they've, you know, you get the front and the back cover kind of fairly faithfully reproduced. Another way that they do it is essentially recreate the front and back cover, but with slightly different graphics. This is take it out of the shiny sleeve. So this is New York Dolls and Too Much Too Soon, which are both absolute flipping bangers. If you're into any kind of glam rock, punk, new wave, kind of edgy, cool noise, and you haven't got these in your collection, then shame on you. So what they did with the New York Dolls double re-release, obviously it says 2 record set and it tells you what it includes. So this is the cover from New York Dolls. So they've reproduced the covers and the back covers quite accurately. And you get the 2 LPs. And more often than not, these double reissues are in decent nick. The only time I've got one that isn't in decent nick is when somebody's attempted to do this. So this is a reissue of 2 very early T-Rex albums, and somebody has got the kind of gatefold sleeve that's a fairly accurate recreation of the LPs, and cut them in half. And you don't get 2 sleeves. You don't get 2 convincing sleeves. All you get is 2 cardboard tubes. I don't know who possibly did this. I hold Vera directly responsible. I'm not doxing her. There's no postcode or surname, and I'm sure Vera still doesn't live wherever that is. So let's have a little look at prices, because I thought these are actually quite cool. And do you know what? I've got a few others, and whenever I see them, I tend to pick them up because it's like I can get 2 decent pressings of like classic LPs for really quite cheap. So let's have a little compare. I'll not bother with the Floyd, because we all know that even like a modern reissue of Piper at the Gates of Dawn and Sauce Full of Secrets is going to cost more than, like, I think the £6 I paid for that. So let's have a look here at Alice Cooper. And now I know these are older. You know, this is now LP from 1969. So we'll get the lowest price. We'll have it on vinyl and shipping from the United Kingdom. So that £8 one, it's a generic sleeve, so it's missing its sleeve. So £17.95, £19.99. Let's check out Easy Action. Again, we'll just narrow the results and get rid of CDs and everything, and we'll have it shipped from Blighty. So one at £9.99, that's not a bad price. The rest look to be starting at £20 and going up from there. So let's have a look at School Days, where you can get both these LPs. Trim down the results again and go from the cheapest. Coming from the UK. Here we are. £5 plus shipping. £7.99. Yeah, one's in, you know, near mint. They go up to 12-15 quid. But it's still a fraction. So this double New York Dolls one. Let's have a look at that one. Like I said, the Pink Floyd one, we know that the other LPs are going to be expensive. So £12 to get those 2 out, like a 2-in-1. And if we're buying them separately, let's have a little look here. Oh, 8-track cartridge. Awesome. So their first album, New York Dolls, is £20. They're all mint. That must be a reissue, because there's not going to be mint copies from the 70s. There's not going to be that many mint copies from the 70s. And then let's have a look at Too Much Too Soon. Probably going to be a bit cheaper. £15 plus shipping. So if you do fancy boosting your record collection a little bit, and there's something you want that you're saving up for, have a little look and see if it was reissued as a double. Now, obviously, like the Alice Cooper one and the Pink Floyd one, they've got new album names. So with a little bit of hunting round on Wikipedia and stuff like that, I mean, I found out about the Floyd one because I was reading about Piper at the Gates of Dawn on Wikipedia. I like reading about records. And I spotted that it said it was reissued as a nice pair, and I had a little look, and it's like, I don't have to do any more saving up. I can get that now for a couple of quid. Boom, and I've got it. And I will still keep hunting for a decent, affordable copy of Piper, but it's more on my dream wish list than on my reality wish list now, because at least I've got the LP of it so I can sit and listen to it. Some of them, like the New York Dolls one, it's just like on Discogs, as you saw, it just says it's both albums. And it's worth doing a little bit of hunting, as you've seen price-wise what it's actually going to cost you to get these. It's worth doing a little bit of hunting. Now, I don't think they will have, you know, if you ever come to sell your record collection and you need to realise the best possible price for your LPs and stuff, I don't think they're cheap now. So if you ever come to have to sell your collection or decide to sell your collection, it'll be cheap. But I'm kind of like, I just buy things just to go into the collection to listen to. And for me, personally, I think they're a great deal. So bear in mind, it's not first pressing. They're not as desirable collectability wise. But if you want some classic albums in your collection and you like listening to LPs and you don't want to, you don't want it to cost you the earth, these are pretty cool. And price-wise, they make me happy. Because as I've said before on my channel, I am a cheap-ass kind of guy. Well, thank you for watching, guys. And I will see you next Sunday for another record collecting video. And if you guys are into trashy horror and sleazy paperbacks, I will see you on Wednesday for another crazy paperback video.